It's been a while since we've talked about the Greater Idaho movement here on The Story, so let's get back to that for a moment. Earlier this year, we did a week-long long-form series. Boy, that's hard to say. After I spent 3 days in Eastern Oregon hearing from folks both for and against the idea. Now, if you're not familiar with what it is, the proposal looks to literally move the Idaho border to the west, gobbling up Eastern Oregon, where many voters feel their values would be better represented in the legislature in Idaho rather than west of the Cascades in Salem. I can hear a few of you yelling and screaming at the TV that this will never happen. And I know, you're right. For the border to move, it would need approval from both state legislatures and both governors as well as Congress, and that's just not going to happen. But what the Greater Idaho movement does do is highlight the growing divide between rural Eastern Oregon and the population centers of the West. Don't believe me? Look at what's happening in the state Senate right now. Many of the Republicans who've walked out represent the eastern half of the state, and their walkout is their last-ditch effort to fight legislation they disagree with. Now, whether that should be happening or not, that's a debate for another day. Anyway, before the May election this year, voters in 11 Oregon counties approved ballot measures that direct their county leaders to advocate for moving the border. Those are the counties there in red on your map. Voters in Wallowa County in green took up the issue last month, and the measure passed by a razor-thin margin. 1,752 people there voted for Greater Idaho. 1,745 voted against the discussion. Just a 7-vote margin. And the Wallowa County clerk told the Oregonian that the measure missed the threshold for an automatic recount by just one single vote. So the next time you hear someone say they don't plan to vote in an election because they don't think their vote counts, well, you should tell them to think again. Wallowa County became the 12th Eastern Oregon county to approve Greater Idaho talks. And just hours after the clerk confirmed the victory for the movement there, leaders in Crook County unanimously voted to put the measure on the ballot for their citizens in May of 2024. Today we spoke to County Judge Seth Crawford on the phone about their decision to put Greater Idaho on the ballot. Before we hear from him, it's worth noting that Crook County is governed by a county court made up of someone with the title of judge as well as 2 commissioners instead of a board of county commissioners, but it's the same idea. We asked Seth Crawford how Greater Idaho came up with their discussions, whether they were approached by leaders of the movement or simply heard about it themselves.
I would say more grassroots. I would say we just heard from a lot of people in our community on both sides of the issue. People that want to see the borders move and people that don't. They all really just want to have a voice in the conversation.
Now, when we asked why he voted yes to put it on the ballot, he said he wanted to give Crook County citizens the opportunity to voice their opinion. So, of course, we had to ask him about his opinion of Greater Idaho as a citizen himself rather than as a county leader. And his answer brought up an issue that we haven't really heard much about when it comes to this whole border relocation question.
So I've voiced my concern with the group. My biggest issue is water rights. And what I would really like to hear from them before I personally would vote in favor of it is what does that mean for the individual farmers' water rights? Are those transferable? Is the state of Oregon going to allow those water rights to go to Idaho? If it did go to Idaho, what would that position be? Would they still be in a position where you would be defensible against somebody that was looking to take your water rights? I think there's a lot of questions in the entire thing, but to me, that's one of the things that I really want an answer to.
Certainly one of the many issues to consider in all this if you take the movement seriously. Crawford told us the main driver of the pro-Greater Idaho folks that he's talked to is exactly what we've been telling you all along.
Governing to Portland for the entire state is not, it just doesn't fit out here. We have different lifestyles, we have different needs, we have different, really different communities. And so what I've heard people say is that they're looking for the opportunity for more local control and more ability, at least more understanding of what is going on in our communities.
Crook County, the next to vote on Greater Idaho in May of 2024. By the way, Umatilla and Gilliam counties are the only others that would be included in this Greater Idaho that have not yet put the issue to their voters.